Hello, Hamish here from mortgagesonline.co.nz. I've got Miriam Bell with me today, editor of the Entered Property Investor magazine.
Hi Hamish, thank you for having me.
And we're going to talk about a certain aspect of some changes coming to the residential tenancy, it's called the Residential Tenancy Amendment Bill, and one of the changes in particular, because you talked to a few landlords.
I have. We've had a lot of feedback on this one, There's quite a few reforms being proposed, and many of them are, you can see where they're coming from on that, whether you agree with it or not. They're a lot less controversial.
Yeah, like rent increases to only once a year.
Yeah, or banning rent bidding and the like. But there's a couple of proposals which are causing landlords a lot of concern. One of those is the proposal to remove the ability of landlords to give 90-day no-cause notices to tenants.
Yep.
And the other is the making it fixed-term tenancies will automatically roll over into periodic ones unless otherwise agreed, which is problematic in particular areas.
So going back to the first one you said, so you can't do no-cause terminations, which, I mean, let's face it, you wouldn't want to really do that for a good tenant. It's only the ones where you might have some antisocial behaviour or a lot of rent arrears and things. Under this, I believe if it is a antisocial behaviour, there's only certain aspects where you can apply to the tenancy tribunal.
Yeah, and I think you have to have given 3 notices within quite a short 90-day period of time again, I think. And that has to be clearly documented and etc. before you can go to the tribunal over it. So it's quite a process. I should add here that you can still give notice to a tenant for a certain set of other reasons, such as selling a house
or renovations,
or I think if a family member is going to move. And although now I think you have to prove there will be conditions whereby the house has to be, I think, on the market by a certain point or something like that.
Yeah, or at least try. Yeah, there has to be some
or the
sign,
renovations have to be underway.
90 days,
So, which again seems reasonable, if you're doing that. But it does mean that it doesn't sort of address that problem of difficult neighbours who may be causing, or difficult tenants who may be causing neighbours a lot of problems, or destroying your house, I guess, potentially, or massively in arrears. Those are still issues.
I think the thing is, what you said, like we were talking earlier about the antisocial behaviour, it's only a very small number of tenants.
Yeah. It's by no means the majority of tenants.
No, and it seems that this bill probably doesn't do much in the way of dealing with the major issues that I think good tenants have, and some of that is, it's not so easy to deal with, such as a house being sold and then tenants having to move out, and they move to a new place and it happens again. And
I think, I personally know several people who had to move, within very short spaces of time over and over again, just for that very reason. They were all at the height of the Auckland market a couple of years ago. And I guess you could argue that is less likely maybe to happen going forward in the same way, just because the market is unlikely to be in that sort of state again. But
although it's kind of crazy what's going on right now. But it does feel like that
it seems a response to that, which is different.
It's like trying to keep them in the private landlord's hand a bit longer with this provision, with the antisocial behaviour, than for them to end up in possibly the government's hand. But really what it does is, in the long term, it scares landlords away from investing in those areas,
absolutely,
where there's more of those tenants, and giving people a chance that might, like right now, if I see a tenant, they're a bit messy, maybe they don't have the best references, but the house is not amazing either, so maybe, or not in the best area, maybe you give that tenant a chance to see how they roll, because if things get really bad, you can give your notice.
Yeah.
But under this provision, you'll be more likely to go, no, I'll rather wait for the best tenant in that area.
Yeah, I think that definitely you'll see much, much stricter vetting procedures put in place around selecting tenants, because most landlords will not want to be in a position, they'll want to eliminate the risk as much as possible. So to do that, and that will impact hard on some people who would otherwise have found housing and may now struggle even more, given there's a shortage as it is. it could be very difficult for some people.
And I think that's what's been going on to some extent in Auckland. With the last set of rules, which again were fairly reasonable, with the healthy homes bill and everything.
Yeah,
but I mean, you did see some landlords exiting, which had rougher properties.
You did, although as I understand it, the exit of landlords for that reason was not as much as was feared. I think because there's quite a long lead-in period with the healthy homes minimum standards. You've got quite a long time to roll them in. And although there might be issues for some around them, I think a lot of landlords do feel that, you're upgrading the stock, you're adding value to your property, essentially. Yes. So there's, pros and cons. But they have definitely not elicited the sort of response that the tenancy law reforms have.
Yeah.
I think most landlords feel much more strongly about the potential issues there.
With this one.
Sorry.
It's okay. Phone calls do come in. But hey, look, thanks for watching. Miriam, do you want to take that call?
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone.
There we go.
Well, thank you for watching anyway. And hopefully that's been insightful. And thanks for coming in, Miriam.
Yes, well, thanks for having me. Check out...
Oh, yes. NZ Property Investor Magazine, 200th issue coming out.
Yes. Well, it is out. The July issue is our 200th issue. So check that out. We think it's quite a milestone to get to. And we sort of take a look back at some of the issues that have occurred over the years, and including tenancy reforms over the ever changes of that here. So, it's all covered there. We like to address these things. So if you're interested, please have a look.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.